advisor for the European Parliament, and I'm honored to be in front of you to provide you and sharing my expertise with you. I hope after this day you will go out and learn something concrete about what is a blockchain technology and to change perhaps your view about this technology, because it's really important to know about how it works and how it could be a really concrete application for you in your everyday life and for your future business.
Super great. And
hi everyone, my name is Jin, and I'm the CEO of Asia from Maxim Row. We're the first KYC built-in main chain, and we just launched it this September. But I come from a different background, very different background than blockchain is. I've been in entertainment business for 12 years. And how I get drawn to blockchain, we can discuss that a little bit more. So blockchain will become your daily life, not just for tech people, it's for everyone. Thank you.
okay, very good point, Jin. Again, before going forward and trying to evangelize blockchain, let us, I guess, give you a little bit of background. I myself am not a techie. I was like 3 years back. I was out and out like a corporate guy, doing learning and performance stuff. So you were also not the hardcore tech guy.
No. I was a financial
entertainment. So you can see anyone has, like most of the verticals in their life, they have application of blockchain just like internet. Yes.
Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Murko. I actually come from finance, so like everybody else, I think most people on this stage don't have a tech background per se, though I've been involved in fintech on an executive level for the last 12 to 15 years and involved in foreign exchange for the last 22 years. I came into crypto mainly because of blockchain, I guess. Obviously, being a finance guy, my focus is definitely blockchain is involved in my focus, the underlying technology that drives, let's say, crypto assets. Most people in here seem to have heard of Bitcoin as being probably the most liquid of those crypto assets. But I think it's a natural progression for the financial markets. So about 4 or 5 years ago at my company, I have a regulated FX broker. A lot of clients asked me if they could trade Bitcoin specifically. And at that time, there was really no way for me to give them liquidity in order to trade. So that's where my journey on the business side started. What I would say, just to follow up on what Salman just said, is that people have this idea in their mind that if they don't understand how blockchain works, they can't use it. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it, because at the end of the day, we use a lot of things in our daily life that we can't explain how they work. Most people can't explain how their car works when they put the key in the ignition. They can't explain exactly how the internet works when they use an app on their phone, but they still use them. So I think you need to remove that barrier of you need to absolutely understand everything that has to do with the technology in order to be able to work with it, use it, apply it to your daily life. That's not needed. You just need to know that it works and find how it can work best for you.
George.
My name is George Sebastian. I'm originally Portuguese, but I moved to Canada when I was young. So I graduated in mathematics in Ottawa. My background is IT. I've worked in IT for 30 plus years. And big exposure also to cyber security for over 20 plus years. So you can say that blockchain is a technology of trust. So it has very good applications in the area of security. So it has borrowed some elements that were originally in cybersecurity in a heavy way of what we call digital signatures, but it makes them or packages them in a more creative way, in a more flexible way. I've been advisor in about 20 plus blockchain projects of different natures and use cases. Also, I am a CTO in Huawei across the Middle East, so I get to help a lot of organizations look at how to use blockchain. Most of them are telecom organizations, but not solely. Some are, for example, healthcare, some are shipping organizations, financial organizations, and so on. So any questions you may have, we're here to assist you.
Sebastian.
Hi everyone, my name is Sebastian Diacono. I'm originally from Romania and I'm living in Malaysia for the past 2 years. My background, I finished law school. I have a master's degree in economics and I work in banking and then FX for many years, and then in blockchain starting shy from 2014, but heavily from 2016, 2017. And because I think no one mentioned so far, to make a comparison between Bitcoin and blockchain is, imagine that blockchain is a car and Bitcoin is a component. It's like a horn or a gearbox or whatever you want. So you cannot say it's equal because it's not the same thing. On blockchain, there are many more cases and many more ways to utilize it. And in Avantas, because I'm working with Salman, I'm the CEO of Avantas, is we are focusing on enterprise blockchain solutions. And there are so many use cases that we can have, and I'll leave also for my colleagues to explain specifically in which areas we can implement them, but I'll just give you a few examples. Aviation, of course, fintech is definitely one of them, major one, and then automotive and so on, healthcare that George just mentioned. So you guys have to think about blockchain as way anyway, this is the future. This is how I see it. It's clearly everybody's seeing it more and more, and even the governments are accepting that there's a blockchain revolution coming. And the beauty of it is for you guys, because you have all the future in front of you. And look, none of us started with blockchain. We became experts by learning ourselves or from others. This is the first generation where trial and error generation of blockchain experts. But hopefully you're in the future is gonna be basically a degree that you can have in blockchain. And blockchain can be developers, can be marketing people, can be business developers, can be there's many utilization where you can actually use blockchain. Okay, I just passed it to my I keep talking. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Sebastian. My name is Raphael Schulz, and I'm half Polish, half German, so I grew up in Europe. And I'm coming from 10 years also banking and payment industry. So payment, classical digital payment, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, wallets. And I started 3 years ago, deep dive that with a book. It was called The Revolution of Blockchain, How It's Changing the World, by John Tapscott from Canada. And this book opened my eyes that we are indeed in a first digital revolution which is happening right now. So the internet in the last 20 years gave us a kind of infrastructure. Yeah, we have now dots and connections. Blockchain is now the digital revolution on top of it, which gives us digital true freedom. Now we can build decentralized applications between us, between countries. There are no borders anymore. And this starts with payments, which I understand, and it ends with data, which can be contracts, which can be your personal data, your passport, and so on. Now we have a wave of digitalization, and that's why I believe in it, and that's why I switched into it. And I have an accelerator program, it's called Blockchain Punk Labs, and we are a company builder and advisor for fintech startups who are using blockchain as technology to build something new.
Yes, I'm coming from Estonia. My name is Reimo Hammerberg, and I'm an attorney, so I practice law. So I've been 20 years for capital markets and financial services lawyer, and doing that, as my daily work, been partner in the same firm now for more than 10 years, and it was pretty good life. Then blockchain came around, and gents in this panel beside me are much earlier birds in that business. So I was quite late. I came to that business because of ICOs, you might have heard, right? It was a big boom in the world. People were raising money by doing ICOs, but effectively what ICOs are, they are capital market transactions, hence they landed on my desk. So I started to dive in, what is this all about? So now, 2 years have passed, and I've become really keen on this topic. And so I'm still a capital markets lawyer, I'm still financial services lawyer, I'm still a regulatory lawyer. But on top of that, I've added this blockchain or technology layer. And I dare to say I'm not a tech lawyer in general. Even in my firm, we have an IT law partner who is not me, right? I'm still a financial services law partner. But this, I like to say I'm pretty good capital market lawyer. If you Google me, you'll find it out. We can delete that from the record. But it's true.
I don't think you can.
But it's true. But yet, there are others. It's not only me in the market. And even though I'm coming from a small market like Estonia, still, and capital markets is a kind of a small market in general. It's not like Pakistan, what you have here. So there are still quite few capital markets lawyers and quite few good capital market lawyers. But when I added this, blockchain element on the top of it, I pretty much became the only one, right? So that's my advice to you as well. Whatever your profession, right? Whatever your chosen, field of life, pursue that, because clearly that's where your passion is. But I very much join with gents next to me who said that just add it on the top of your profession, and it will make you special. You will stand out.
Super inspirational, and I'll take you towards my journey, how I came into the blockchain scene. It was, again, exactly how he stated it. I started looking at what's in it for me in my profession, learning, education, and training, performance management, etc. So this is the first piece of advice coming from Remo, that look into your own passion and then try to see where is the connection between blockchain or decentralized solutions or in general technology. Whatever you do, just connect technology element into it, on top of it, and you will be seeing the multiple of your whatever you can earn in your regular career. So again, we move on to the panel.
I think we should start from here, not to pass the microphone. We can start.
I have a loud voice personally.
You don't need microphone.
So keep it.
Okay, just to give the the world perspective again, once again. French, Taiwanese, American, Canadian, Romanian, German, and Estonian. Amazing. Simply amazing. And that's what the blockchain world is. That's what the tech world is. There is no border here. And this is what you should be pursuing. Whatever again your background is, if you add a layer of technology to it, not just blockchain, and you may have a more, you may find more interest in AI, or big data, or IoT, so pursue that. Yes, moving on to Remy. Remy, just give them the best use case you have ever seen in blockchain so that they connect what blockchain does basically. We don't want to take them to the technology.
Yeah, I don't need it.
So his French needs to be loud. Okay. Okay, so just to give them what blockchain is doing in different verticals, the best use case you have seen within the blockchain.
First of all, historically, everybody knows about this technology through Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the first application of blockchain technology, but it's not only an application for payments. It allows you, for example, and you talk about that, to generate and create your own digital assets, and you will be able to raise funds with, or you will be able to transform a new liquid asset and provide liquidity to these assets because of this technology. The reality is, every day you use internet, but if I'm asking to anybody who knows exactly how internet works, who knows? Nobody's quiet.
Yeah.
But in fact, don't care. The most important is what is the benefit to use this technology on a specific sectors. And for finance, for example, you will be able to move into crowdfunding 2.0. What it means? It means that everybody in this room has an investment capacity. You can invest $10, $100, more or less. It depends on you. And for the first time in history, you are able to communicate with everybody and to ask to everybody to invest on your project. And for that, you just need an internet connection. And that changed the way how we exchange and we create value. That's why if you have one thing to learn about what is blockchain technology, is the internet of value. Because for the first time, you're able to send to someone else in the other parts of the world and the most secure way and cheapest way, something has a value without using the current banking system. That's a reality, that's a fact.
And that's why there's a lot of banking institutions that are currently using and exploring blockchain technology for improving payment system and to our ability to disrupt one of the most oldest job we have is banking, because banking system coming from the medium age. So it's just one application. Just think about blockchain as a component of various previous technology, which is composed of peer-to-peer network coming from internet, digital signatures that you already heard about, cryptography, a tokenization system, and a ledger which is distributed. Just keep it in mind and think about how you can use this technology by just selecting just few components of this block of this technology for your area. But the most important, you have to be passionate about. You talk about that we were the first generation of blockchain expert, of course, but we need that next generation, and you will be the next generation. And I hope we will help you to reach your objective and to be passionate as I am passionate about.
Great. JT, you said you were from entertainment background.
Yes.
What brought you into the blockchain, and how do you see people can connect the both?
Yeah, I do have a loud voice too, but I want to save some energy. Okay. Yeah, it just the microphone got shocked by Randy. Okay.
Yeah.
So before I share, it's a great opportunity to be here. It's my first time in Pakistan. I have a small question. What are you looking for in this panel? Are you looking for a job, or you're thinking about your future, or what's your major?
We have no idea what is it.
I don't know.
Good. But you're speaking somewhere, so you have no idea about what?
Yeah.
Blockchain?
Yeah, I just heard it for the first time.
Okay.
That's why it's an introductory lecture for me.
Okay, so your professor kind of said, hey, you have to be here today. It's Saturday, but you have to be here. Okay. Yeah, you feel this message, so you have to be here. Okay. Who else? I'm just wondering. Like, any people from IT, like major in technology? All of them. Oh, okay. Even the girls, great. Yeah, we have so many girls on my team. You know, we have a great team. So it's not just for the next 5 years or 10 years. When I'm building Maxim Row in Asia, I have all these staff from all different countries. We have even my marketing director is from Nicaragua. So I know that it's changing, like what we have thinking when we graduate, you know, oh, I'm gonna maybe just stay in my country, you know, doing something that I learned from school. But I learned from school is music. So what's the big change of getting into blockchain is I play video games. When I play video games, I learn about cryptocurrency. The first cryptocurrency I touch is Dash. So when Rafael showed up to me, I was like, whoa, idol. Because we use that to purchase like items, suits, you know, in my games. So that's how I learned something is changing, you know. I talk to a lot of singers because I do records for them and movie star. They ask, I heard about Bitcoin, but what's next? I was like, you can invest in Dash. but they're looking for a solution. They're like, I want to know my fans better. I want to have this business module better because I want to use it on publishing. Many of the artists, when they do a show, when they sing on stage, they don't get paid because not many people, they care about publishing. So publishing rights is one of the major key points when I'm setting up for a blockchain project. Then I met Max and Ro. So before I was working with YouTube MCN, I'm working with a lot of gamers, video gamers. But it didn't trigger me that I have to change the industry. But Max and Ro, because it provides a KYC solution, which I think it can give those answers to those singers. You know, if they can tokenize their own business and their career, their singing career, we can actually know who's the biggest fan, you know, who bought all the tickets. They want to give back. Most of the singer, they will think about a bonus point. You know, I want to give back to my fans. When I sing on stage, I use this platform, I can get paid. So it's a use case work in progress, and we are also working with a lot of artists in Max and Row, you know, when I'm working here for the past year. But we're looking forward to, but I think it's gonna be looking for more talents from all kind of, like for example, marketing people, business people, and we need lawyers. Especially we need more lawyers to get into blockchain business, and more accountant to business. So when our main crypto or blockchain company is looking forward to search for more talents, maybe even from Pakistan. That's my point of view.
Super great. And Kevin.
This is one of those questions that the further you sit down the panel, the harder it is to answer. Because everybody pretty much covers every topic before the microphone gets. So again, I said I was a finance guy. So if you look at the use cases that have been proven in terms of blockchain up to this point, and really proven, I mean proven globally, transfer of value is number one on that list. But on top of transfer of value, I think, for me at least, I think tokenization, that JT already mentioned. But tokenization is probably something that interests me the most. And the main reason behind that is that we have and again, Bremen mentioned the antiquated banking system. And I think that there's probably a lot of hardships, maybe even sitting in this room, talking about the antiquated banking system, right? Pakistan is one of the countries that has capital controls. It can be difficult to move money out of the country, difficult to receive money. It can be difficult to create a business online if you can't receive payments globally. So lots of countries suffer from these type of things. And unfortunately, every solution that we've had up until now, whether they be, let's say, innovative or not, have been centralized. They've been systems that have had one central point of failure. You can count PayPal into that equation. PayPal has a center point of failure, and that's PayPal itself. So you can look at credit cards. All these things have a central point of failure. I discussed in the car on the long car ride over here cons when it comes to that particular transfer value mechanism. But with a lot of bright minds around the world, there's bright minds in this.
Very less in life, technology is going to be knocking on doors of any country. Right? So what they're also saying indirectly to all of the students here is if we don't join the bandwagon, we're gone. Right? And so could you talk about that? Because if Pakistan doesn't gear up, how are we, so that's the question. If we are not ready in the next 6 months or 8 months, what's the impact that's going to happen to us?
So when my parents were kids, right, you had the economic power of the world, United States, right? Why industrialization? Right? That's why the U.S. gained its economical power in a big way. China started to get into that industrial age, but China has now leapfrogged into what is the data and digital age, right? So now they're outpacing the United States, and that's greatly because of technology, not just blockchain in particular, but AI, IoT, all these things. So many countries are scared to innovate, and that's because they're complacent, right? They get to a point where life is good, things work, why should we fix things that already work? What they don't realize is many things don't work for many people around the world. What works in the US and Europe, especially in terms of finance, does not work in 80-90% of the world, right? Most of the world is unbanked or underbanked. Most of the world has issues with moving money around. You know, maybe Europe doesn't, maybe the US doesn't, but most of the world does. So the countries that take hold of the technology now and apply it even to what may seem like remedial use cases are the ones that will see progress in the future. Are the countries that will become the world powers of the future. Because the next step in evolution is basically is not just digital, because we've been dematerialized for 20 years, right? The internet dematerialized things. Now we're decentralizing things. And it's the next step in kind of the evolution and disintermediating things, which is probably even more important when you talk about finance. So the countries that grapple those problems and use the technology and aren't scared to use the technology and don't let regulations and limitations and all these other things limit their ability to move forward with that technology are the ones that will succeed. 100%. There's no doubt about that. People say history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes, something like that. Well, history repeats itself, guys. I've seen it happen a million times. So those that take the, let's say, take the initiative to move faster and move forward are the ones that always succeed. That's the way the world works.
We have a saying in Chinese, one day in blockchain, 10 years in realities. That's how quick technology is evolving. 6 months ago when I doing this project, they called me crazy. They was like, hey, you're not gonna do anything. 6 months after, President Xi said blockchain is the future, my phone never stopped ringing. That's how it goes. So right now, I'm just suggesting if you're looking for business or you're looking for opportunity, now it's the time or never. It's too late. It's gonna be too late.
Already it's late to me. Like I'm very shockingly surprised that there are not much. There's not much happening in the blockchain when it comes to Pakistan, and especially if the IT students are saying that they are hearing first time blockchain.
This is not true, by the way.
नहीं, जो भी आया है, there was one comment coming from this room. Anyway, we'll proceed.
My name is George, as I said before. Since I come from a security background, I do believe one of the important elements in the distributed world, or the IT world, or the connected world, without borders, is trust. So we have tried in the past, when we created the internet, to build trust on top of old, outdated protocols. I mean, if you remember, it was just TCP/IP. Then we added something called SSL, if you remember from the old days of Netscape.
Still exists.
Still exists.
Yeah.
There used to be a gentleman, actually a boss of mine for some time was Dr. Tahir Al-Gamar, which invented the Gamal exchange, which if you look up private key cryptography, you'll understand. So it's how a browser was able to be trusted to perform an online transaction, but that by itself was not enough. It's like putting Scotch tape on something that is not secure from the ground up in terms of architecture. So blockchain is not really just one thing new. It's a combination of many things that was put together to create something that is more trustworthy and more secure. It's based on cryptography. It's based on decentralization. It has evolved. I mean, first version of blockchain, what we call blockchain 1.0, only did mining and transfer of value and transactions. Blockchain 2.0 added concepts known as smart contracts, and blockchain 3.0, 4, and 5 add extra capacity in terms of performing a much larger number of transactions. But what is really important, once you have trust, you can start doing amazing things. That means you can have two people that are in different countries or different geographies exchange value. Now, a value could be money, it could be electronic money, the currency does not matter. It could be digital assets or digitized assets. The assets can actually be a painting, a car, a building. It allows you to do things like a portion of an asset, what we call fractionalization. So that means if you don't have the capacity to buy a very expensive asset, if that asset is tokenized, you can buy a fraction of that asset. Now, why is this important? Because if you buy a painting and a painting goes up in value 100%, if you bought 1%, your 1% becomes 2%. So, where in the past you were not, so it's a technology of inclusion, meaning that people that were not able to participate in an economy or they were disenfranchised before now are included or have the capability to be included in this economy. So I see blockchain as an overall revolution that adds trust. It can add trust to things like shipping. So yes, things like chain of custody. You're going to say, why is this important? It's important for things like food supply, to ensure that the food that you get on your plate, you know where it originated and it has not been altered in the process. Or the car part that you put on your car or the part that you put on the airplane is actually originally manufactured on and not a copy that maybe break much earlier than it was supposed to. So these are just very few simple examples, but I do believe that blockchain as a technology has an important value addition to the creation of a whole new generation of applications. So it does not really matter which ones you're interested, but you can use the ones that apply to you as a vertical. So if you're an engineer, if you're a painter, if you're a manufacturer or others, you can take advantage of that. So I think you should get involved. Now, you're going to say, my university does not teach blockchain. That's not a reason to stop there. You have things like Udemy, Coursera, what we sometimes call snack TV or snack courses. You can take 10, 15 minutes at a time. And you have YouTube. You can learn about these technologies without, and then you create the transformation in your own university here by them also including this inside the program. One example was the University of Nicosia. Introduced this program almost 3 years ago. It was the first master's in blockchain. And guess what? One of the components of that master is available online free of charge. So you can go in online, you register, you take 3 months of course without any charge to you. It helps you understand this technology, and it's taught by proper qualified people that understand the technology. This is another problem also. Although blockchain is a technology of trust, there's a lot of charlatans or imposters in the process that came into this space to make money very fast or other things. So it has given some areas of blockchain probably a bad name, but I think if you look deep enough, you can easily find out the ones that can assist you in going in the right direction.
Should we focus more on the implementation side or the technical side?
If you ask me, always on the implementation side, not the technical side. See, technology is technology. Interesting aspect is that many of the things you can do with blockchain, sometimes you can do with other technologies if you combine them together. However, blockchain just makes it a little bit easier. Now, the other thing that's important is that technology by itself, or blockchain as a technology, is not a finished product. So that means if I give you blockchain, it's like I give you a tool. The tool does not make finished products. You have to turn it into something that is end-to-end. And the only people that can do that is the people that know the vertical that you're working in and understands the issues with that vertical, and then are using blockchain to solve these issues. There's many issues: double spend problem, decentralization, trust. So for example, one of the things that blockchain is very good at doing is also identity management. So we're using today blockchain to add further identity to passports. And outside we're going to say, oh, just passports. No. You'll be able, if you lose your passport, to get your passport back the same day in Dubai. Or if you look at a country like Malaysia, they're implementing blockchain in the future for all the border controls. And there's 40 entry points into Malaysia. And why is this important to Malaysia? Because if there's an incident, like sometimes there is in Pakistan, you lose image around the world. So all of a sudden, this industry of tourism disappears. So they're using blockchain to add extra trust, so they can validate the passengers before they arrive.
Right.
So implement safety.
Right. We have 5 minutes, so we have 3 questions for last 3 panelists. Please.
First of all, let me introduce. I am Muhammad Atif from Computer Science Department. I'm associate professor there. So for our host, this is not the case that we are hearing this term first time. Our students are doing some projects, and even some students are doing thesis as well. But my question to this panel is that if university wants to start some product, and that product has base upon this blockchain technology, and what can be that project? So that maybe it's a long-term project, and this is not only case we will get the idea from you free of cost. Like if you become want to be partner on this case, university can sign MOU with you people, and we have developers here. People are here from computer science department, from software engineering department. Those people know how to develop a product. And there are professors here who are experts. They have worked in different countries, so they can supervise them. So eventually we can make a good product. This product can be tested as well. So I will ask the host if you can make a forum as well, and can give us idea. If you give it right now, I think our marketing manager is here. They can talk to you, and it would be great really, because many university products are now big products. I know Hotmail was a student project one day.
Me and Raphael, we discussed something about
Yes, so Maxonro is also part of our program, because we are now scaling Maxonro globally. For example, we are organizing a big hackathon in Berlin in 4 months with 150 students. And the thing is, there is a plan to action. So for example, Maxonro is building now a foundation of universities in many countries. So it is Taipei, there are several others. You could be member of that. This would be like the first step of this.
We
And
have
then-
also Japan and the US. We have the sister school of UCLA is joining us, and university from Japan. So if that's willing to, I mean, we'd love to have you guys on board, also with the hackathon.
Yes, exactly.
I
And
think
when it comes to products, just maybe an idea, because I love examples. Of course, financial products are possible. You could build like the first wallet for Pakistan. Yeah, you could test the platform of Maxonro, which is an open ledger, and you can just like program on it. It's KYC and AML conform, so it's according to the banking standards. And then whatever you will build on that, it's up to you. And I think when you join that program, it will open some eyes on ideas from your side how it would be the future of Pakistan to develop such a solution.
I think everyone in this room probably has ideas that are more pertinent, that are the problems that are pertinent to Pakistan. So it's not so much about, we can give you 100 ideas. I think micropayments, microloans, all these things would be something that that could definitely benefit the economy and every citizen here in Pakistan. And they can definitely be built on blockchain combined with identity solutions, which means instantaneous approval of microloans over a cell phone, an SMS message.
It's not financial, but I would like to use this because I got this very precious personal gift today. And I was looking inside and there was a telephone number, probably the facility where it was produced. So imagine that there was a QR code and I can scan it and then it shows me from which goat or sheep is it coming, which food this goat or sheep was eating, who was in between. Is it a family business? Is it a big company? Is it a local company or is it an American brand? So all of that you could build also as a supply chain blockchain.
That things adds value towards customer.
Exactly, yes. And then you see the value of that is far more bigger because I go to Germany and friends will ask me, oh wow, I want to get one. Then I say, okay, fly to Pakistan. But then maybe the QR code would give the web page, and then you see, oh wow, that's not only the price, I can then pay for it, but I can also see if I want to have organic clothes. Oh wow, it's an organic one. So this is new value which we can build in a digital way.
Like when you go abroad, and especially with the Muslim, there's always the issue that is the food halal, even though it's being told to you as halal. But if there is a QR code and the whole farm to plate kind of a history or traceability is visible to you, you will feel more confident to eat that. So that's one of the use cases of a blockchain. Sebastian?
The question what I wanted to ask from you is, when you asked what product could you build, did you mean actually the product on a blockchain or educational product? Like a program?
Because we have students over here in our university, they are doing their final year project. We say when they are students going to graduate, 4 years degree, they have to present a project over here in our university, in our academic system.
Right.
So we require that student to make a product, some kind of e-commerce project. It might be just
some kind of application or use case actually, which is based on, and that's what the question was.
Yeah, that's our senior teacher has asked you that is there any kind of forum on which we can have a collaboration with you people, you guys, so that our students may be producing such kind of products, so that we can have a real-time projects over there, and in future, if these guys are going to search any kind of job, international level that guys are recruiters, so they might have opportunities.
I think the easiest currently what we have started is really we had a very good meeting with the chairman of the board. It's done. Strong voice, right? And we do have the contacts, right? We have changed the contacts. And it's all known. As far as the products are concerned, then I'm coming from a small country, Estonia, and I dare to say Estonia is in so many ways so different. Pakistan is huge, immensely big, right? Estonia is immensely small, right? We have all in all 1.3 million people. When I say it usually abroad, then everybody gets surprised that how is it affordable to keep up a country like this? It's a small city. It's not even a city, it's a town. For your terms, it's a kind of a big village, probably, right? That's what we are in Estonia. So what we have done, and we're coming from Soviet Union, that's our legacy, right? So we had a very clean sheet when we started to build our country. And to some extent, I dare to say, you have the same privilege, right? You don't have the legacy system, so you can currently, when starting to build anything in Pakistan, you can take simply the most modern technology and start building on it. And most of you are tech people here. You know much more about technology than I do. But for example, what Estonia has done and been very successful has taken the public registers, such as land register, company register, tax register, health records, and put it all on blockchain. It's all immutable, all there, all cryptic. So it's very modern, very paperless, and it's what it gives to you. And that's a very practical use case for Pakistan when you look for the ones. Because what it gives reliability, it gives transparency. So imagine having all done that, what will happen to the Pakistan place in Transparency International? Will it go up or will it go down? Up, 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 right? So it's a very practical use case, being done by the other governments and can be done. The same about election. Election can be done electronically. Practical use cases.
Sir, I have a question, more to sir, which is someone like. So here's the question, right? So if you actually look at Estonia, for an example, and you look at the generations that are there at the age bracket they are in, so you look at their Instagram and you look at the number of hours that young kids go on Instagram, I would say it's 3 hours in your country and 3 hours here. But the question is to you, sir, is that, but when you go onto the Instagram of an Estonian little girl or a guy or a teenager, you would see at least 30% of information that talks about technology. You talk about the Instagram accounts of all of the young kids sitting here, right? So my question really is the ecosystem through which these people need to understand the value add of this cannot be from the educational systems alone, right? So the ecosystem needs to play a part. Could you guide us where the ecosystem is failing in Pakistan? Because you can tell the teachers to teach them, but really there needs to be a larger ecosystem where the kids keep on constantly seeing the value addition in this, in terms of what they buy, in terms of what they look at. Does that make sense?
I have a use case of Instagram because as I said, my previous job is working at YouTube MCN. Well, I have a close connection with Instagram. Most of people you surf on Instagram, you look at the KOL, right? The pretty girls, the celebrities.
Right.
But the one thing is why Instagram also bought by Facebook is most of the celebrity or KOL, they don't get paid. Not like live stream. In Asia, so many live streaming. Why they're going on live stream to play video games? Because they want to get paid, donation. So, but Instagram doesn't have any donation. So some of the KOL is starting to tokenize herself. As you like my picture, I use Instagram as to be famous. But when it comes to product, when it comes to a personal IP, they use tokenization to tokenize themselves. So I see social media right now, it's going to be a big change, especially Facebook is talking about Libra. But
tokenization is digitalization. So they
right,
digitalize themselves.
Yeah, digitalize.
It's a good question because one of my clients, we have built for them a blockchain social network which compete with Instagram. You can download it. The name is Apix. It's
Apix.
Yeah, it's existing. It's on Apple Store and on the Play Store.
You will get rewarded for likes, viewing.
Exactly. We change the way you monetize your own audience. And if you need more information about, we can discuss about it after. But yes, that's the reality. It means that with blockchain, you are able to change the way you create value. Really, that's really important. You have to keep it in mind in the various sectors.
Alright, so I'll ask Sebastian to answer yours and then I will do that answer to conclude our discussion. Sebastian, he asked about what should the ecosystem do?
Well, I think I can give you my example. So I don't have a tech background. I work in banking and finance most of my life. And just, okay, it was easier because I was working in FX, and of course Bitcoin came along. It was easy for me to dive into actually in the blockchain itself. I started when the 2.0 generation of Ethereum with smart contracts, and then I saw the value of the blockchain technology itself. So my advice for you is, first you have to think about your future. You as a person, no one can bring you where you are if you don't have the will to do it. You know how I learn about blockchain in general? I read by myself. I just Google all the information. There were no books at that time. There was no information. I just picked information, and believe me, there was a lot of trash information out there. But you start to learn how to pick up the good information. Now it's much, much better. And there are so many channels that you can use to get this information. So beside the education, it's your own will to build a better future. Because one thing about blockchain, it doesn't have any borders. There's so much demand for blockchain experts in any field. We're talking about developers on the tech side. We're talking about marketing people. We're talking about business developers. We're talking about any other type of industry that you think about, because the utilization of blockchain is limitless. You can use it in almost any industry. So I think it has to come from inside. And you have to understand that the time is now for you to catch up with the rest of the world. And now is the time. It's still not too late, but you have to start right now. Okay?
Yeah, we call it that blockchain is future, but future is now when it comes to the blockchain. Okay, I'll just take 2-3 minutes to answer the very good question, how the ecosystem can help. Obviously, it has to be a top-down approach, no doubt about that. I'm very clear about those countries which are very good in adoption of blockchain. Their governments are basically the trigger point. Singapore, Switzerland, Estonia, Dubai, you name it. Even China initially, South Korea, you name it. All the countries, those who are very going forward in the space of the blockchain, now recently Malta and now very recently Montenegro, the trigger point is basically the government itself. They started the revolution, or they started adapting it, and then they triggered downwards. But that doesn't mean that it can't be bottom up as well. Let's suppose now I come to give me 2-3 minutes in Urdu, so I'll give them a देखिए अब जो हो गया 3-4 साल तो हो गए ज़ाया पाकिस्तान के आगे अब मत ज़ाया करें ये लोग एक्सपर्ट्स को यहाँ लेके ही इसलिए हैं कि इंस्पायर किए जाएं पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी को बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है आपका प्रोडक्ट बेस डोंट गो फॉर टेक्नोलॉजी ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी इन्होंने बात की भी मैच्योर नहीं हुई प्रोडक्ट बनाएं प्रोडक्ट का मतलब है सोल्यूशन डिज़ाइन करें बहुत सारे ऐसे पेन पॉइंट्स हैं जो कि लेगेसी सिस्टम डेटाबेस जो हैं वो नहीं कर सकते सॉल्व ब्लॉकचेन कर सकती है ब्लॉकचेन को यहाँ लाने का या बात करने का ये भी मकसद नहीं कि ब्लॉकचेन सब चीज़ों का हल है इट्स नॉट द सोल्यूशन फॉर एवरीथिंग बट इट इज़ अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ जो भी आपका IT आर्किटेक्चर है चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट में हो चाहे एजुकेशन में हो चाहे वो एविएशन में हो किसी भी सेक्टर में एंटरटेनमेंट की बात होगी सो हर सेक्टर में इसकी एप्लीकेशन है स्टूडेंट के लिए करियर बनाने के लिए एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए बिजनेस बनाने के लिए बैंकर के लिए एक नया वर्टिकल है एक अगर कोई फाइनेंस का बंदा है तो उसके लिए देखिए ना आधे तो बंदे यहाँ फाइनेंस के बैठे हुए लॉ का उसने सबसे खूबसूरत बात जैसे कि उसने की अगर थोड़ा सा ऊपर आप टॉप कर दें कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी का तड़का लगा दें
वैल्यू एडेड चीज वही होती है ना अगर खजूर पैदा कर रहे हैं तो उसका इतना रेट नहीं मिलेगा खजूर से आपको चॉकलेट बनाने आप कहीं भी चले जाएंगे
कहाँ पे चले जाएंगे तो अब सिर्फ मैसेज हमारा कंक्लूडिंग यही है जो मिस हो गया उसको तो हम वापस ला सकते हैं IT की एक बहुत बड़ी ब्यूटी है वो ये है कि इट गिव्स यू द अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर फ्रॉग लीपिंग 2G से आप सीधा 4G पे जा सकते हैं अब दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट जो शायद नहीं समझ में आई हो कि एक ब्लॉकचेन 1.1 2.0 अब 3.0 की बात होगी तो आपके लिए तो अपॉर्चुनिटी आप सीधे 3.0 पे जाएं देखिए उसमें क्या मैच्योरिटी लेवल क्या है